Good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Midwest Emma, and if you're new here, I'm a 5th generation farmer in the United States, and I'm taking you along today on a little morning chores vlog. Fall is officially underway here in the Midwest, and it's a little chilly. Carhartts are on, and since it is fall, we no longer have our animals out on pasture grazing, so morning chores consist of feeding some of the livestock here on the farm. So at my property, I currently have 2 donkeys and about 60 head of goats. The goats that are at my property are not currently being exposed to a billy. All of the other goats in our herd are at a different property being exposed to 4 different billies. So we separate our goats into different herds to expose them to a buck or billy from October 21st to about December 5th. And when we expose to the billy, we have about, 30 to 50 head with each billy, and then they're in individual pens for breeding purposes. And the reason that I have several goats here at my property is because some of them are replacement doelings, so baby goats. They were born this March, and so they are not ready to be bred, but we're keeping them back to expose them next year. And then I also have 22 goats that were a part of an IVF transfer. So these goats were bred 2 weeks ago via IVF with some embryos, and then they will have an ultrasound in a few weeks to see how many of them took. So the herd that I have here is under kind of strict quarantine. None of these girls are allowed to be with an intact male because we don't want them getting exposed or pregnant. So that leaves me with feeding them. I have kind of a makeshift feed yard set up with electric paneling. The goal this fall is to build a paddock, some fencing, because these girls are going to be staying here for several months. And so gotta build something that'll last the winter. So let's go feed these girls. They're yelling at me. They are currently on an alfalfa hay ration. We are trying to eliminate some cost. So that means not feeding these girls any grain. And we are weighing out their alfalfa. So each goat is getting, we kind of walked them on alfalfa. Each goat is getting about 2 pounds per head. And that's going to help with their protein. And then we have a lot of mineral licks out, and then they have, of course, free choice hay for roughage. Let's grab that alfalfa. One thing that I always like to videotape for Instagram is opening up a square bale with baler twine. It always gets people fired up. They're always commenting, why don't you have a pocket knife? Every country girl has a pocket knife. And of course, I have a pocket knife. But the interaction, the engagement, it's just so worth it. So pretty much from here on out, I'm never going to be opening a square bale with a pocket knife. Only baler twine. One thing about goats is that they love alfalfa. So when I hop over this fence and carry the alfalfa to their feeding troughs, they're gonna stampede. And I've kind of learned you just gotta go quick, otherwise you're gonna get knocked over in the mud. Can't tell I already unplugged the electric fence. Everyone is happy and eating, except for the dog. So I'm gonna go get the dog a treat and then refill. He's just a puppy. I'm gonna keep saying that until he's like 5 years old. But I'm gonna go get him a bone and then I'm gonna refill their water. In this little makeshift pen that I have, I am in the process of getting a Ritchie waterer in for the winter time. Let me show you. As you can tell from the mess, the Ritchie water has been trenched. It's all ready to go. We just need to get a concrete slab here. Pretty much the end of summer there was no rain, and then the last week we've gotten a ton of rain, which was great, but then it delayed my concrete project for the waterer. But thankfully the water tank isn't freezing yet at night. It's not getting that cold, so I have a little bit of time. Sit. Turn right. High five. Down. Good girl. Oh, good boy. Well, that's all for my morning chores. I know it's not very exciting and it doesn't take me very long, and that is because I have 2 full-time farm hands that help with the remainder of the goat herd and all of my horses. So the chores that I have to do here on my property are kind of quick, and I like it that way because there's a lot of other things I have to get done in the day. But I wanted to show YouTube a little bit of a glimpse of my morning routine. It's been a while since I've recorded a YouTube video, I think about 2 weeks. After harvest ended on the farm, I decided to take a much needed break. That was my first time taking a week off of YouTube since I started YouTube back in March. So I enjoyed the break. I went to Mexico. While I was in Mexico, I got strep throat, so I came home, I was on antibiotics, and now I'm feeling much better, back into my daily routine. Please comment below some of the farm projects you want to see here on YouTube. As harvest is over and we're going into winter, it's going to be a lot of odd and end projects around the farm, a lot of fence building. So please subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.